Hello and welcome to this exciting session on autonomous monitoring and compliance using Agentic AI. My name is Kalpan Dharamshi. I'm an IEEE Computer Society member and I'm really excited to bring you this session. So without further ado, let's take a look at what we have in the agenda. So first, I'm going to introduce agentic AI. I don't think this particular topic needs any introduction now, but still, I would go through some of the points that are there, and we would like to discuss a little bit more about how it fits into our world. Next, I would like to introduce compliance landscape and the challenges that we have in our landscape, right? And how do we tackle it? So next will be like obviously using agentic AI, and then agentic AI, and then doing autonomous monitoring, right? We'll look at some of the real world use cases, and then we go into benefits and some key considerations, and in the end we conclude our slide our presentation, and then we move into Q&A. Okay, let's start the session, right? So, what is agentic AI? So, I would like to think agentic AI as a system or a AI acting as an agent, right? And it's slightly different from traditional AI because it is like an autonomous agent. It can make decisions for you. It can proactively perceive environments. What I mean by perceive environments is understand the environment in which it is working. Then we can also think about reasoning, right? It can provide you some reasoning. These agentic systems are basically backed by LLM. So LLM can provide you explanation about each and every aspect that is associated to it. It can take autonomous actions, and then it can provide you an explanation why it is taking that action. And it goes beyond automation, right? It's adaptable, it's context aware, and as I mentioned earlier, it's decision making, right? So adaptable and context aware. So let's say if the environment changes, it can adapt itself to the changes. It is aware of the context under which it is operating as well. So let's see how it helps us, right? So, okay, so picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So, think about this, right? They have here you have a team of agents who is working together, and their objective is to build a tower, right? And there are like few blue agents, few orange agents, and other agents trying to chip in their bit. So think about agentic system in this way, right? It helps you visualize how we are thinking about this particular topic, and how to go about programming in the world of agentic. Yeah. Next one. Okay, compliance challenge. So we have a lot of compliance regulations through which we are working, right? So if I talk about GDPR, it is about protecting the customer data, like in Facebook or any other social site, right? You upload that. Let's say you like sports, and you see advertised related to sports, but then they have to take your consent before they can, use your personal data, right? SOX compliance, all your financial institutions have to adhere to SOX compliance. They are there to protect the investors. Then HIPAA is basically your health data. It's very sensitive. All these regulations are put in place for our benefit, for customer benefit, for in general for everybody, right? So very important topic. But then we have to adhere to those compliances, and as we are evolving, these changes are evolving constantly, right? You can see a lot of data breaches and other stuff happening. So compliance has to be really top notch, right? You have to have stringent policies in places. But then those stringent policies makes software engineers' life challenging as well, right? So you have massive data volumes. We work in distributed environments, and let's say an audit requirement comes up. What happened like 8 months back or 1 year back, it becomes really tedious for us to connect all the data points manually, and then create a report and then present it to an auditor, and then it goes back and forth into question and answer session. So what I'm trying to say is these manual processes are prone to errors. There are delays and inconsistent outcomes. And if there is a data breach, right, there are regulatory fines, and these fines runs in billions of dollars, right? So I think we all would like our institutions wherever we are working to avoid any of these fines for us, right? So how do we tackle it? Can we have something which is doing autonomous monitoring, looking at these 24/7, right? Can we have something which is doing like an early detection and a response, right? Can we have some kind of system which can reduce the dependence of a human coming in trying to investigate, right? Can it adapt quickly to the changes that are happening in the compliance area, right? Obviously, I'm sure you all know the answer by now. It's agentic AI, right, for autonomous monitoring. So what it can do for us, it can continuously ingest data stream, it can monitor logs, application data, it can trace down what you're doing, you can have a team of agents doing it, and we'll walk through one example as well so that it becomes clear in your head, right? Then policy understanding, right, and codes, regulatory and internal compliance rules. So you can have an agent which is trying to understand only policies and which may be trained a little bit or fine tuned to understand these. Another agent who could be looking at policy breaches, flag activities that are deviating from baseline or breaching rules, right? Then in the end, take action on those, right? So it's not just reporting something, but also taking autonomous action. So one could be notifying the engineering team, begin an audit trail that okay, a data breach has happened at so and so point. Now, how do we go about reacting to it? And lastly, but not the least, right, is to learn and adapt, right? You update your rules whenever they are uh, required, on the basis of outcome, and you provide feedback. So let's say I say, okay, one of the policy breaches reported back is not in line, so it takes in as a feedback, right? So basically think about it as an LLM agent, right? You go to chat GPT, it asks you for feedback, thumbs up or thumbs down, similar to that. Okay, let's take an example, right, so that it becomes clear and we try to understand the world that we are looking at. So we'll take an example from software compliance. So let's say we are building a software application. There are Sonar compliance policies in place, right? So you have agent one that goes into this Sonar compliance database, reads all those policies, understands what all rules have to be adhered to. Sorry, apologies, I forgot. There is a planner agent that is the starting point. So you start with the planner agent, right? It orchestrates your entire framework for you, and then it triggers off agent one that scans the policies for you, right? Next, triggers an agent two, right? So agent two is nothing but somebody who is scanning your software application artifact and checking for rules that are generated from agent one. So what happens is, like, if you use any OpenAI SDK, Google ADK, or any other Crew AI or something, whatever you're using, right? They come with a context, right? So Planner agent creates a context, it reads the context, and it keeps invoking those policies accordingly, right? So you can pass instructions to your planner or orchestrator agent, and then it will pick up the right agent that it has to trigger, right? So it has this understanding of agent, or using agent as tools, or using sub agents. So different frameworks do it differently, but end of the day, it's just the same thing. Okay. So now agent 2 goes back and triggers your software, scans your software, and detects the policy breaches for you. So it can say, okay, now there is a policy breach, let's say, that has been identified. And so it triggers agent 3, checks the GitHub, creates a feature branch for you, and tries to fix that particular policy breach for you. So this is the main thing, right? And then maybe we involve a human in the loop, which will say, okay, take a look at whatever has been fixed. Do you think it is good enough? Once the human in the loop approves the PR, then it can trigger an agent 4, which will merge all your changes, or maybe agent 3 can merge all your changes and trigger the CI/CD pipeline. So this is just an overall picture of how agentic AI can do Sonar compliance for you. So just something that you can think of, and you can maybe try and apply it in your area as well, right? Let's go on. Okay, once again, a picture. I like keeping some pictures. So you have a team of agents who are working together. In the middle you have a goal. Maybe think of the center person as your, sorry, the center as your orchestrator agent. Is trying to orchestrate with the team, and then trying to pass on the instructions to them. and it's trying to achieve that goal. So whatever it could be 100% Sonar compliance, it could be some other requirement that you have, it could be XYZ. Yeah. Okay, what are the key capabilities? So, autonomous incident triage and prioritization, right? So, it can understand what all incidents have happened and how important those are, right? So, it can actually prioritize it. So, if I talk about Sonar compliance, Sonar actually gives out whether it's a blocker issue, it's a severe issue, it's a major issue. So, then it can prioritize those accordingly for you, and then it can create an incidents as well. It can create an entire data lineage and audit trail reconstruction. So, if there is an issue, right? So audit team will generally ask, how do you deal with issues in your area? So we can come up with saying that, okay, this was the issue that happened. There was a policy breach, and then we took these actions, right, and to address it. So all these can be very well documented, and you can be audit ready at any point in time. So you are like an application which can have audit at any point in time, and each and every audit trail, right, each and every decision that it is making, it is giving you a reason, right? What action it took, what decision it took, and what was the reason behind it, so that you also have some reasoning trails to go for it. And then it can create some real-time compliance scoring alerts, like Sonar has some compliance reports that it can generate. Automated reporting obviously comes by default, and I think these are just a few important capabilities that I could think of. I'm sure you could think of many more in your area. Okay, use case examples. Before we go into that, let me take a little bit of water. Okay, so this is an important slide, and this happened with me actually. So the first one example that I want to give you is the Log4j vulnerability. I think it was around December 2021, if I remember, and most of the people were on leave. And I think what happened is there was a severe vulnerability that was identified in Log4j. And I think most of the people were called back from leave just to fix it. And it was really a simple fix, upgrading your pom.xml or your Gradle file or whatever it was that you were using from version X to version Y, and your fix is done. So I think a lot of people had to manually come in and make those fixes, even though it was really small. Deploy those applications, just check everything is working or not. Now this can be easily automated with agentic AI, and your vulnerability or any of your compliance issue can be easily be eliminated with using this kind of autonomous agents, right? So this is like really one use case in my area in software engineering that I encountered. Another is, I think we touched base upon this one a little bit, audit trail management, like full traceability. Like you have from start from the time when the breach occurred till the end, how we addressed it, entire stack trace is available to you, and there is a reasoning or explanation that is given to you. And I'm sure there are many more use cases that you can think about in your area where we can use this technology to solve a lot of problems, automate a lot of mundane or monotonous tasks that we are doing. Next slide. Okay, benefits. I think we touched upon most of these things, right? So increased detection, speed, and accuracy. Definitely, you can get your speed and accuracy increased by using these kind of autonomous agents. You're reacting faster, you're reacting better. I mean, you have operational costs have reduced significantly. Your audit readiness is enhanced. You are, always audit ready. You have lower compliance risk. Your applications are always having like 100% compliance using this kind of feature. And most importantly, like enhanced organization trust and reputation. I want to stress a little bit on this one because I was listening to this. We'll take a little short diversion. So I was listening to this Sam Altman briefing, right? And he mentioned a case I mean, he was discussing a case over there where he said he was reaching out to some helpline, and he had some problem. So he dialed in the number. There was agent one, right? Then they went to agent two, agent three, agent four, and in the end, nobody solved his problem, and it was not a good experience for him. He had to explain his problem like three or four times, and people were, I mean, customer service was, I mean, not up to the mark. That's what I can say. Now imagine you have something which is automated, right? And everything is taken care by an LLM agent internally. It can talk to your team of agents and get back to you with an answer. It could be positive or negative, but your response time is much more reduced, right? So that way, I think in those terms, right, your organization's trust and reputation is enhanced significantly, right? If you have these kind of automation already in place, you have autonomous systems that are making decisions for you on the basis of data. So definitely you will have a good customer base. Moving on. Okay, my favorite slide. With great power comes greater responsibilities. Actually, I took this line from Spider-Man movie, and I like this line a lot. So I think you have a great tool at your hand, right? So we have to use it wisely, and we have to ensure that data privacy is maintained at all time. You have to ensure that all your agents are moving or acting in an ethical manner, right? They are not surpassing any guardrails. They are doing what they are supposed to do. You have to work in a controlled environment. The actions that they can take could be are also controlled or monitored, right? They might encounter a situation which is not they have not encountered earlier, and they might take some actions which could be detrimental, right? So we have to have a need for minimal human oversight. This is, I think, the key, right? The human oversight has to be there for these agents to act properly. Like we had a human in the loop that approves the PR, like in our prior example. So similar to that. And then, as usual, each and every action has to be associated with reasoning, and there have to be guardrails in place, right? What actions it can take, what it is permitted to do, and what are its boundaries, right? It cannot go beyond that. Okay, future. What does it look like for us? I think compliance requirements are going to evolve faster. There is a lot of new changes that are coming into market. You would need new, smarter agents that are more adaptable. Then there's going to be an emergence of compliance as a service model, right? So we have to be, uh, we can have something like this that can be used, right? We can give our software application code to compliance as a service, and then it can return back a PR that we can approve so that we don't have to deal with it. And last but not least, right, a collaboration between a human and AI for optimal outcomes, right? You don't want too much human intervention to happen because it defeats the purpose, but you don't want to give the entire control to autonomous agents as well. So there has to be a very good collaboration that needs to happen. Just like if I take a simple example, like in machine learning world, right, we don't want the model to overfit, but you don't want the model to underfit as well. So you want to have an optimal balance between these two. Think of these on the same lines. Yeah. Okay, conclusion. I think I've tried my best to give a presentation, to convince you guys to use Agentic AI for your application needs, compliance needs, move from a reactive to a proactive discipline, enable continuous and reliable compliance monitoring. And I think this is one of the key to, building resilient applications, enhancing trust for your organization. It will also enhance a reputation for wherever you're working. And I think we are done. We are open for question and answers. Thank you.